welcome to Craft Shop. Today, Brett and I are making a modern sitting bench to put your boots on.
Get these legs, we sell the legs.
Oh.
Alright, so we're starting off by building the legs. We're going to be using a couple 6-foot sections of 1-inch square tubing. The legs will be fabricated into a sort of capital A configuration, being made up of 4 components each. Each leg will receive 2 longer sections between 20 and 25 inches.
We are angling the tops and the bottoms of the legs so that they sit flush with the floor as well as the surface of the bench. Because we don't have a chop saw, we are tracing lines by hand and grinding up to them on the belt grinder.
The sections we are cutting now will sit on top of the capital A and connect the legs to the bench. Using some angled cuts, we fabricated midsections for the legs.
Here's a quick look at the leg construction before it's welded up. The dimensions can be changed accordingly to your design.
We are using a MIG welder to get the pieces tacked in place.
Now that it's tacked together, we are throwing full welds on all of the gaps. If you don't have welding equipment, this would be a cool project made out of wood, using dowel or domino joinery. We are cleaning up the welds using a flap disc on the angle grinder. We're also using this to prepare the steel for paint.
We decided to go with 2x6 construction lumber for the surface of the bench. I'm ripping down 3 sections on the table saw that will then be edge glued together.
We are using Titebond 3 Ultimate Wood Glue and clamping up the surface for 24 hours, making sure to evenly spread the glue before applying any pressure.
While that dries, we're going to go ahead and get the legs painted. We're using a flat black spray paint from Rust-Oleum. Once the bench top is cured, we start to flatten it out by sending it through the planer. We'll do this a few times until we have a smooth surface. After this, we'll touch up any high spots with a hand plane. We'll then cut the surface to size and clean it up with the random orbit sander.
Now we are ripping down 2 boards to serve as rails for a lower platform. We cut them to size on the miter saw, and in order for them to fit into the A-frame leg construction, we need to rip them at an angle on the table saw.
The rails will be connected using dowels to create a ladder-style platform. To do this, we will be drilling holes every 2 inches down the rails to accept dowels. If you're going to attempt this project, I'd recommend drilling the holes before you cut the angle on the table saw. It makes it a lot easier to keep the board in place at the drill press. Once the bench top and the rails are sanded and clean, we apply a protective clear coat.
To add contrast, we used ebony stain on 1/2-inch sections of dowel rod, which we are cutting into 8-inch sections to use to connect the rails. It's a little tricky to get everything lined up. It definitely helps to have a second pair of helping hands.
We're drilling some holes in the legs, which we will use to connect the surface and the rails. It would have been easier to do this before everything was welded up. If anyone remembers this mallet, I made it on the channel over a year ago and it's still holding up great.
We are lining up all of our components and screwing them together. And here's the finished piece.
Thank you all so much for watching. That was a very fun build.
If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below.
If you want to buy the legs for this project, we do offer them through timberlyusa.com, so you can check that out.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.